Good evening and welcome everyone to our conversation on virtual fundraising as part of our mid-year conference being held virtually for the first time. I welcome Lions, Leos, and guests who join us virtually on various platforms from across the region and the world. I'm your moderator this evening, Dion John, Lion Dion John, and I'll be joined by a panel of three to give further clarity to this topic for the next hour or so. Our first panelist is Shadi Stewart. She's in her final year of the Masters in Integrated Marketing Communications at the UWI Mona. She has over 5 years experience working with an event management, media, and marketing company with various roles, including brand manager and planning and logistics assistant in Trinidad and Tobago. With the expansion to Jamaica, she's currently the social media manager and forms part of the executive committee. Shadi prides herself in being a social media guru, goal and detail oriented, possessing strong communication skills and an eagerness to work with and learn from others. With regards to charitable events, she's managed most recently the social media pages for the UWI Alumni Association for their Global Giving Month and the United Way of Jamaica's state-of-the-art online fundraising art auction. Both have provided extremely valuable and unique insight into the use of social media as an alternative means of charitable fundraising. And we learned this evening that she was named after the singer Shadi. So Lions, Leos, and everyone, I present to you our first panelist, Shadi Stewart. Shadi, just unmute and let's see who you are and just say good night.
And we seem to have lost her. There you are, Shadi. You're back with us?
Is she back with us?
Go ahead and unmute.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Shadi, and welcome. Just for everyone to see you at this moment, so just give us a wave.
Are you hearing me now?
You're going in and out.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, I switched to my hotspot because the Wi-Fi was giving me a shaky connection.
Okay, all right, so go ahead.
Okay, so just give us a wave.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, thanks and welcome. We come back to you in just a moment. Let me introduce you now to panelist number two, Lion Denise P. Harris is a certified digital marketing professional with over 20 years experience in brand management, marketing, sponsorship, and event management, promotions, and sales in the financial, insurance, and telecommunications industries. In March of 2020, she joined the Community and Workers of Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union Limited as the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer before joining C&WJ CCUL. She worked with the JN Group for the past 16 years as marketing manager for the JN Money Transfer brand, marketing operations and special projects manager for JNBS executing on major events such as Denby, forgive me if I have that wrong, Jamaica Diaspora, and the marketing and sales manager of JN General Insurance Company Limited, where she executed the JNGI Shorty and JNGI online marketing campaigns. Denise has recently established 2 companies and is the Chief Amazing Officer for the Untapped Group Limited, a brand marketing boutique, and is the Managing Director for Untapped General Insurance Agent and Agent for JNGI. She is passionate about understanding what people value, their journey, experiences, and most importantly, what makes them do what they do. She loves to serve and to make a difference, and it is within this passion that she became a member of the Lions Club of St. Andrew in 2018. She's currently the second vice president and chairperson of the Marketing Communications, Public Relations, and Fundraising Committee. Panelist number 2, Lion Denise P. Harris. Welcome. Thank you. Panelist number 3 is the charter president of the Alpha Leo of Morant Bay High School, and that was in 2006. After leaving high school, he went on to joining the Leo Club of St. Thomas. Joined the Lions Club of Kingstown Mona in 2017, and since joining the club, he has served as Leo advisor and has gained an award of outstanding achievement given by the region chairperson. He's the marketing communications chairperson from 2019 to present. At present, he's the secretary of the Lions Club of Mona. Positions held in Subdistrict 60B, Associate IT Coordinator 2019 to present, and Multiple District 60, the Associate Communications Coordinator present. The lone male, his surname is not a rose, but he is a rose among, not saying that word at all, but panelist number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Lions and Leos, is Lion Chevron Sutherland. Chevron, good evening and welcome. Lion Chev.
Evening, good evening, good evening.
Okay, thank you. So this evening's conversation is being held against the backdrop of the difficulties which we have emerged and which have arisen because of COVID-19, in particular in the inability for Lions and Leo clubs to raise funds during this pandemic. Fundraising has always been a challenge, and this conversation aims to highlight and create awareness about virtual fundraising. So today, our esteemed panel will share their experiences and provide a general template in which these activities can be executed. Before we begin, just to let you know that we're going to accept your questions and you're going to get a chance to speak to the panels and to ask your questions as we go through. So to begin with, Shade has an engagement at 6:45, so we're going to ask Shade to make her presentation this evening. Shade, it's over to you.
Okay, great. Are you all seeing the screen?
Yes, we are.
Have up on the screen. Yes, that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again, Dion, for introducing me. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. So I'm going to speak to you a bit about what exactly is online fundraising and how it can help the Lions Club. So moving forward, this will be the items on our agenda tonight and what I'll be speaking about. So what exactly is online fundraising? So in an essence, online fundraising, you use online and mobile technology for your organization uses this technology to improve your traditional and digital fundraising campaigns across multiple channels. And that it could include the use of websites, blogs, email marketing, Facebook, tweets, and any possible platform on the internet where you could get into contact with potential donors and supporters, and they can also learn about your fundraising campaign to offer support. Now, why do you need it? The internet is increasingly becoming part of our daily lives. So you know, with COVID-19, everything was forced to go online. So classes, presentations, and fundraising. So it is important for a nonprofit organization like yourself to keep up with this trend, because the internet and social media is forever changing, and you need to keep abreast in order to keep in contact with your audience and your potential donors. Statistics show that 54% of donors worldwide prefer to donate online. So there are donors online just ready to give money. You all just need to get into contact with them and share your ideas and share the reasoning and the whole idea behind your organization and why they should give. Another reason why we need it is that it can automate the entire donation process. So regularly for fundraising events, donors will, they would send a check or direct deposit, and it needs to be entered into the database, then receipts, and then they have correspondence that is usually sent out telling them thank you. But now with online donations, this can all be done instantaneously and automatically. And that directly affects your data and reporting abilities. So since online fundraising automates your process, you have immediate access to your data. So you can real-time track your incoming funds and run reports to have a clear picture of your fundraising efforts. So eliminating manual entry also reduces human error. Better data and reporting allows you to more easily allocate your funds to your program. So you know how much money you have, you know how much you can spend, and you know how to improve for other fundraising activities. It also expands your reach. So moving your fundraising efforts online allows anyone, anywhere in the world with internet access, the opportunity to join mission. So this allows you to expand your donor base, and you're no longer confined to having to see your donors face to face, or have their number or their address or anything of the sort to make an ask. You can just all place it on, and anybody who is interested and who knows about the Lions Club or even certain keywords that are entered into a search bar, your fundraising efforts will come up. So I just wanted to show the growth of internet in the space of 25 years. So in 1995, only 0.4% of the world was using the internet, compared to as of June 2020, with 62% of the world's population. So you can see how important being on the internet and trying to target your fundraising activities to persons through the internet, how important it is. So over some time, I found some online tips that have helped me a lot. Regular posting is so important. Your audience needs to feel engaged. They need to feel part of your organization, and they want to know what's going on. They need to know what's going on. Regular posting consistently, especially on at peak times when you know you have the most amount of persons on your social media platforms, best time to post. And that's an easy Google search. You can Google search and be like, okay, on Tuesday, when are most people online? And you can find that. Video and image use on social media is also very, very important. Now, social media users are highly visual, and they tend to stop for posts that have videos and images on them. Paid promoted posts, while they aren't absolutely necessary, I could give you an example. So when I was working with United Way for the online art auction, I got an organic growth of impressions and people viewing the page of say about 200%. But we did a promoted post, and in the space of 2 days, that jumped to 1,000%. So that would have an exponential increase in people viewing the post and able to see what we were doing and what the fundraising initiative was all about. And lastly, consistent branding. As you share your donation page across all channels, be sure to maintain the same branding throughout each campaign to reinforce your message in the mind of your audience. And this can be done easily by using the same imagery, wording, colors, and fonts to create a seamless donor experience. On your website now, an interesting thing that I always encourage people to do is to do recurring donations. So instead of asking a donor to just donate this one time for this particular initiative, you could give them the option of having a donation set to their account to recur, and that usually doubles the amount of money that would have been donated to a cause. Multiple payment options are serious. You need to not just have bank deposits or credit card use, PayPal, Apple Pay. When you're dealing with an audience from the US and the UK, those are some common payment avenues that they use, and you should also try to have on your website as well. easy layout with a clear call to action. The easy layout, that's serious, that's important because the loading time of your website impacts if people will actually stay and want to go through it, seeing your website. So a website should take between 2 to 5 seconds to load. So if it's longer than that, you need to fix that and have an easier transition and a clear call to action, because the whole purpose of the website is to get people to donate. So a large call to action button saying donate here or donate now also helps. Mobile responsiveness. Mobile devices drive 56% of online traffic. So I've seen in some instances where people have a beautiful website, but when you're watching it on your cell phone, it's a mess. And you need to try to avoid that, because as I said before, 56% of traffic is online. So people are just, scrolling through their phone, seeing this, spend money, moving on. And the payment information security. You need to protect your donors. So make sure your website has a secure connection. So if the URL, you'd want it to end in HTTPS, S for secure. And also when they're entering their credit card information, you also want to maybe use a third party so they can provide extra security for your donors. And Bitly. This is a great tool. So if you have a really long URL to get to your website, Bitly shortens it, and it also shows you the conversion rate. So it shows you where people clicked your website from. So whether they clicked it from a social media page, whether they clicked it from an email, it shows you all of those statistics. So you know which avenue has been the most effective in getting your audience to know what you all are doing. And some more tips, especially with social media, showcase your donors and their impact. Remember, interactivity is key. So people want to know what their money is doing, how they have impact, how you and your organization have impacted your environment surroundings. If you have testimonials, all those are great ways to connect with your audience. Analytics monitoring, that's if you're doing online, that is, don't do what you need. You need this, because it shows your impressions, your reach, and it tells you a lot about your audience with regards to their location, their age, the times that they're most active. It tells you about your post views and determines your audience's preferred media style and type. So it also guides your media choices. So if you're seeing they're watching more videos compared to pictures, compared to other testimonials that you may have had, that is why analytics is so important, because you need to know what's most effective. Market nonstop. When you have your campaigning going on, market nonstop. Emails, texts, direct messages, posts, anything that you can do to keep the attention of your audience. Audience segmentation, again, it helps you to curate your messages accordingly. So if you have an older audience, you use a certain type of language and conversation style compared to if you have a younger audience. And the legal part is very important so you need to know, just as with other types of fundraising, online solicitations must be registered with the appropriate officials. So in Jamaica, it would be the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, and well, every country would have their legal representatives. So it's easy just to check in with them, send them an email, shoot them a call, be like, okay, I'm doing this fundraising event, tell me, is this okay, or do I need to apply for certain permits, etc. Right, so some fundraising ideas. The most important thing is be unique. We've seen the online concerts, we've seen the verses with Bounty and Mr. Is it Mr. Killer? One of those. We've seen, like, people, when they see something successful online, they tend to want to repeat it because they want to repeat that success. But if you could introduce something different into the online sphere, there you will really attract people, and they'll be like, oh, okay, this is different, I'm interested, I want to be part of this. So some ideas here, you have the live event streaming, you can do an online games night, home meals. An example of this is what the Food and Drink Festival of Jamaica, where they have these pre-packaged meals created by these top-class chefs. And so you pay for them online and they send you them cooked so you can enjoy. And then they have these artists performing during the day to just make the whole experience all encompassing. And that can also be a great way to raise funds. And there's this other saw someone do where they sent ingredient packets. So they had these chefs actually teaching people how to cook online and how to use the ingredients to make a 5-star meal. A virtual auction. United, we did that recently with their online art auction. It was exhilarating, but super expensive. Thank God we had Phase 3 to help us out. So they reduced a lot of the production costs, but that was a really strong campaign where we got people from all over the world saying, oh, you need to share this more. We need more people. People love art. People love supporting charities in these times. So you just need to get into contact with them. Amazon Smile is also where it donates 0.5% of all purchases made on Amazon. So you just need to tell people whenever they're making certain purchases to select Amazon Smile instead of the regular Amazon, and they will send the proceeds straight to your organization. And a virtual run or walk or bike. You have an opening ceremony, encourage people, and you could give awards for the fastest time, people who were most interested, the largest group. Well, maybe not in these COVID times, but you all get the gist. And challenges, like for instance, the ice bucket challenge, there are dance challenges. These help a lot to raise awareness. And if you could get onto that TikTok platform, especially if you're doing a dance challenge, that would be a great hit with the younger audience. So I hope I was able to share enough with you about online fundraising, and I look forward to your questions.
Very, very much, Sade Stewart, for your presentation this evening. We certainly appreciate your presentation, and we look forward to the questions which will come at the end of all three presentations. Our next panelist is Lion Denise Harris. Lion Denise, it's over to you.
Thank you. I'm coming. You see my screen?
Yes, Line Denise.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, line moderator. Moderator Line Dion. Good evening, fellow Lions Leos guest. I'm happy to be here to share my experiences. So today, this evening, we're going to go through this information here, what has been the experience during the pandemic for us, my experience in terms of using the virtual platform and virtual fundraising. What do you need? Some pros and cons, and a step-by-step guide.
Line Denise, you want to use your slideshow?
It's not showing?
You should maximize it on your slideshow.
It is on slide. I had maximized it.
No, it's not showing on slideshow.
Okay, here we go again. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Well, just to let persons who've just joined us at this point know that we are looking at virtual fundraising, and we have as part of the panel this evening, Shadi Stewart, Lion Denise Harris, and Lion Chevron Sutherland. Are you ready, Lion Denise?
Yes, I am. Are you seeing the slideshow now? Because it's on my
Yes,
screen.
we are.
Denise. You're
Yes,
good to
you
go.
are.
Okay, great. All right, so sorry about that. So I was at the content page. So I'm just going to quickly go through what's been my experience, with COVID and the pandemic. So during that time, we're facing curfews, lockdowns, restrictions, job losses, increasing crime, even now heavy rains. Anything that is happening now, you name it. And all of these, to my mind, could be viewed as a recipe for disaster for fundraising. But we must still raise funds so we can serve. And with this, we have our pressures and our emotions will get the better of us. Some of us will start worrying, feeling hopeless, confused, nervous, frustrated, because many are looking to you to lead, you who is in charge of doing the fundraiser. So what are you gonna do? I will say, don't panic. You're gonna take back control of your emotion. Be determined, because you didn't come this far to quit. Let your survivor instinct kick in, and you are guaranteed to succeed. And using virtual fundraiser is the way to go. And why do I say this? It allows you to raise funds quicker in a more cost-effective and safe way. You're able to create a compelling digital experience that will inspire people to give. It allows you to reach a wider audience, the world. You saw the statistics before in the previous presentation. In terms of raising funds, I've put it in 4 categories. One of the quick wins that you can have, you can apply online for grants. You can go to corporate and different businesses to get donations. You can host your special events. Some were mentioned before. You can start as small as doing raffles, fish fry, movie nights. Then you move into the virtual bingo, comedy show, auction, sip and pay, Zoom parties, you name it. And you can also use a social media platform for crowdfunding. So at Last Lord St. Andrew, like everybody else, virtual is our new reality. So we are looking at ways that we can shift to that space. And before we go directly in that space, we want to ensure that whatever we do, we create value. We create an exceptional experience for persons to fall in love and donate to our cause. So we decided that we're going to test first, at our social meetings, and then thereafter move it to the big thing. So one of the first things that we did, we hosted a movie night using our Zoom platform and Netflix. Fly was created internally at no cost. And this went pretty well. So we will hit the road to turn this into a fundraiser. The second thing that we did as well, we tried to be creative, a little bit different. So we merged a learning experience along with gaming. So we created an event called Learningo, which is combining a learning exercise and the game bingo. This was hosted on Zoom. We went ahead and we purchased our virtual cards that are seen here. We disseminated those cards to the participants on Zoom. We hired a bingo master so you get that feel that you're actually there. We also put the prizes on PowerPoint so you know exactly the prize that you're going to win. So having tested this, we have learned a couple of things, that once you're using Zoom, you need to ensure that you have the right package to accommodate the number of persons you want to participate. And you also need to look at the time. So with the package, you determine how long you can go and how many persons will be on that platform. The third thing that we did, we normally do our fish fry. So we move it to fully digital. We created the flyer in-house again at no cost. We share that electronically. We went a step further. We utilize what is called a jot form, and this allows persons to view what is on the menu. They're able to order, see what their bill will come up to. Then they were able to now click through to go through to pay or transfer funds to our Lions Club account. And that went pretty well. Our return on investment was 110%. So imagine if we had it longer and the reach is wider, you can have more funds coming in. Prior to the pandemic, we had started our crowdfunding platform where we are encouraging persons to donate to our cause. We partnered with JN Bank using their iSupport platform. We identify our cause, and our cause is diabetes. Then we decided to tell a story by creating a video. And creating that video, we placed it on both websites, theirs and ours, and we shared it on social media. We will now continue to promote. So I'm going to share with you what it looks like. This is our website. And on our website, we ensure that we create the call to action button where a person can see to click through to donate, which is very important to do. Once you click through, you move now into seeing our landing page. On this landing page, you'll see the video, and that video will tell you the story why we're doing what we're doing. It's always important when you ask in person to donate, you ask for a figure. And we put different categories there, as low as $10 to a high of US $5,000. So persons have that option to donate based on what they can do. So for us at Lions Club of St. Andrew, nothing is going to stop us. We are going to push through because we need to raise funds. So in the pipeline, the fact that we have tested and proven that this thing works, we're going to go through to do different events, our community shows, all the events that are listed here. We are going to be executing that between now and 2021. I'm happy to say that other Lions Club are doing it. Lions Club of Mona, they did a virtual 5K walk, which was held recently. And Lions Club of Downtown Kingston, they are executing their event, which will be on this weekend. So I'm hoping that everybody who's listening will be joining in to support them on this initiative. So what do you need to do the virtual fundraising? So these are some of the things we came up with. You need to have an understanding of the AB principle, why people give. First is the ability. People give relative to their means. People give to help other people, and they give to persons who they believe in and the cause that they believe in. They also work with persons they know. So your network is very, very important, and you need to tap into that, ask for what you want, and let them set the pace. You need to also have an understanding of what it takes to raise funds. You need to create that story. What is your cause? Use the digital platforms, your YouTube, Facebook, IG to tell that story. Make it easy for persons to give. Make sure you have a payment facility on your page. Example, PayPal. You need a champion. I'm the champion for my club. And once you have a champion, you utilize the club members for them to be champions for your cause and your network. Always be ready to adapt to change. With virtual, things change pretty quickly. So what are the pros and cons? The downside for going online, the trust is harder to build. There are risks associated with being online. The fact that you need to be unique, innovation is a must, so it's going to take a toll on you to come up with something different, something new to capture persons. You need to also have an understanding of technology, the platforms that you're going to use, the app. And you also may need to have somebody to monitor your online accounts. And importantly, investments will depend on the fundraising platform you're going to use and the kind of fundraising you're going to use. But the upside, there are some pluses. The main one, it's going to reduce your overhead costs significantly. No need to rent a venue, decorating, transportation. Online fundraising is trending. It's a must. You can no longer ignore it. And why? The reach is limitless. It means you have more persons to participate, more persons to donate. It allows you to raise awareness and visibility of your club quickly. And in fact, once you have a landing page, it's data rich. You'll always have data at your fingertips. So here's a guide. First thing I will say to you as a club, examine your club, assess your strengths and your weaknesses. See if you have the key skill set in order to do the virtual. If you don't, acquire one and put that in your budget. Look at your goals, revisit your budget and your deadlines or project that you're doing. Know your target audience, who's going to be your donors, build that list. In terms of promotion, know your cost, tell your story. Make sure you ask for what you want in terms of donate and have your payment facility. Utilize your website, Facebook, IG to promote. Create a virtual experience from the very beginning down to the end. Always say thank you to those who donate to you, and always respond to queries and comments in a quick fashion. And most importantly, monitor your initiatives. Look if there are any gaps. Use your metrics that was mentioned before in the presentation to guide you. So I leave an acronym with you. Our objective is to raise funds. So doing a virtual fundraiser, I will say to you, focus on what you want to be, where you want to be, and those fundraisers that will yield the most returns. Understand the key principles in terms of why people give and what it takes to raise funds. Leverage your network for them to be your champions. Devise a plan, work it, don't forget your data. Sell, 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 promote your story, be social, encourage persons to like, share, and donate. And as Lions, we are all here to serve. And with this said, I want we all to have a lion's attitude. And what that is, be a warrior, not a warrior. See issues as challenges that you will champion. No matter how difficult things and times may get, never give up. Know that you are stronger than you think. Pause, say the Lion's Prayer. Research, always be unique, innovate, and just do it. Whatever you do, whenever you do it, you will never lose. You will either win or learn. Thank you for the opportunity for sharing my experience.
Well, we want to thank you so much, Lion Dennis. That was a very interesting presentation, following on the heels of a very informative presentation as well from Shade Stewart. In fact, I was just tempted to say Lion Shade, so we've got some work to do in recruiting her as well as part of this movement. Our final presentation is from the lone male who's a part of our panel, and that is Lion Chevron Sutherland. He is, of course, the Associate Communications Coordinator for Multiple District 60 and a member of the Lions Club of Mona. In fact, he's the Secretary. Lions Chev, are you ready for us?
I am.
Okay, so it's over to you.
All right, good evening, fellow Lions, Leos, guests. Now, after these two wonderful presenters, two wonderful ladies, let me see how I can do. So for me this evening, my friends, what I'll be going through, some of these, both Lion Denise and Shade would have actually covered. So I'll just be providing a few activities, a few fundraising activities that we can all undertake, right? And so we move right along. So it says fundraising is an old game. We all know about it. We've all been doing it, but COVID-19 has changed that landscape, right? And so we have to find new and creative ways to fundraise. And hence the reason we're having this session this afternoon. Now, top 3 benefits of online fundraising. As we're seeing here, it's less likely to cause setup headaches. We all know what happens when we're having fundraising activities, right? It's less likely to break the bank. So we don't have to be going to the bank. We don't have to be getting venue costs and all that cost. All of that's out of the way. And then it's less likely to restrict the reach. Again, we can be here, like for me and Denise, well, Shade as well. We're here in Jamaica, but we can extend it right across the district, right across the world. So it's less likely to restrict that reach. Now, I know you're all wondering how to raise funds in times like these when we can't gather as we used to. And you are not alone, because I'm wondering too. So let's look at a few fundraising ideas, and they're all social distancing approved. So the first one, which you would have heard Denise spoke about, and I don't have the one for my club on this, again, because it has passed, but we helping it, promoting our fellow Lions, which is the Lions Club of Downtown Kingston, whose activity is this Sunday, right? Again, it's a virtual run. You can do it anytime, anywhere, on your treadmill. It's up to you. Just go ahead and do it. Register, and again, it's any time that you have that's available to you. It's not like when we usually go out at one big activity and we group and we must do this on this particular day. It's virtual. You thought it couldn't have been, but yes, you can do it virtually. The next one that we all actually spoke about as well is live stream event. And for you who were here last evening, you must know this photograph, right? So we enjoyed ourselves last evening at the opening ceremony, and this is something you can definitely do. Yes, you can have different platforms that you're able to have persons register. So if we're using, for example, a platform like the webinar, they're able to go ahead and register. They're able to, pay for that event, and then they will get the link, and then they're able to view the live stream event. Again, it can be whatever function it is that you want to have. Another one is a raffle, and I put 50-50 in bracket, and I'll explain. So you can have just your regular raffle. So you have your items that you want to raffle, right? Or 50-50 is where you have persons contribute, and what it is that you're getting 50% of what it is that you earn. So it actually encourages persons to spend more, to donate more, because if I'm saying, all right, if you make $1 million, just an example, I'm getting half of that, right? But it's all up to you. You choose the one that you want to do, whether it be just your items or you're doing a 50-50. Another one that was also discussed is your games night. Now, who doesn't love games, right? And especially in a time like now where we're home, it's all about the games. Again, you can have persons register, get that registration link. You're promoting the game that will be played, and so they're able to join in. The possibilities are endless when it comes to organizing a games night. And this one I liked it, text to give. Now, wherever you are, we can always dialogue with our telecommunications company to see how this works, for how best they can assist us. So whatever it is, everyone's on their mobile phones. We all have our mobile phone, and if it is that you just to say send in a simple donate, that's something that we can do. So we're already on it. We're not taking you away from anything, and it's either that you text to donate and it takes it from your credit, or it is that we're sending a link and directing them to a particular platform like our website to donate. So again, we'd have to meet and we discuss how all this works and what's the best one that we choose. Here we have partnership with business, online business. Now, we do have businesses that they do assist with charity organizations. And so if it is that they want to have a specific product, if purchased, they give us a donation, or they have a time frame they're providing us with that if we purchase items during this time frame, then some of the profit will actually go to the organization. Again, this is a wonderful opportunity, because what it does as well is the business will also promote the club once it is that they're sending out the messages to their customers or even potential customers. And now we're all on social media. We're all on social media, and we have those social media influencers. Lion Denise spoke about having a champion. And here, a champion can be that person who, we're always on social media. We see the social media influencers. Touch base with that social media influencer, because if the for-profit businesses or, they're able to reach these social media influencers, and again, it continues to benefit them, who say us or as Lions or nonprofit organizations can't do the same. So we speak to them, see how best they can, if they're going to donate to us, and then help us in spreading the word to the general public, right? So they're influencing persons. So if they can just mention a Lions Club and what we are doing, then it would be great for any of our organization. We also spoke to crowdfunding. I have GoFundMe here again because it's one of a very used one. But again, what I always recommend, or I would recommend, is having your website. So you have your website, and we talk about that call to action button. You know, you donate, have a cause, as Lion Denise spoke to. Have that cause again, so persons don't just see a donate button, but they know what it is that they are donating to. I love bingo. And it wouldn't be complete if I didn't have a bingo, right? And Lion Denise can tell you about that because I joined in with them when they were having their bingo nights. Yes, I'm a winner as well, right? So virtual bingo is very good. Again, we have different platforms that can provide you with bingo cards. And again, you have your platform that you send persons to donate, pay for a bingo ticket, and once it is that they pay for that, you send them their virtual bingo ticket. And hey, we're here on a Zoom platform, we're playing, and we're enjoying ourselves. Virtual bingo is another way to go. Now, email campaign, a lot of persons say, oh, email, it's an old way. And yes, a lot of persons tend not to be checking emails now, but it still works, right? It really appeals to those persons who we may have already have. And again, once we're using the email campaign, we want to have that platform, whether it be a website or that crowdfunding platform that we're directing persons to. So again, we're sending that message, the campaign to them, and we're directing them to a platform to donate. And finally, your donation pages. Have a website. It's good. Have a website, have your donation page, have activities, right? Have activities that, sorry, have those activities that draw persons to your organization. So again, have the donation page, your website, sorry, and your social media pages. Get them up, get them up. So ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Lions and Leos, thank you very much for listening.
Let me thank you very much, Lion Chevron Sutherland, for your presentation. I am sure everyone would agree that all three panelists were excellent in their presentation this evening. Just to remind persons that you are viewing this presentation on virtual fundraising, and it is an all-embracing and a new concept which we want us all to embrace as Lions. So we, all three panelists are here. If you have your questions, Lion Wendy, our IT person, is going to give us some assistance in terms of reading the questions, but there are no questions as yet. So Lion Wendy, feel free to interrupt when we have those questions. But just to ask Shade Stewart a question. You said in as part of your presentation that 56% of the traffic is online. What is your advice for us as Lions and Leos in terms of how we can capitalize on the presence, on this online presence?
Well, the main way that you can is by regularly interacting with your audience and with anybody that comes to your page. Also by promoting some posts that extend your reach exponentially. Just as I said before, regular posting. By posting, you know, especially on like Twitter and those platforms where people share everything. If you have a funny tweet, if you have anything, especially viral social media, if you can tap into that, people love those things and it sends your message to the other ends of the world. So really just connecting with your audience is the key part of it, and that's how you get it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much. Lion Wendy, are there any other questions?
Not at this time, but persons are asking
sorry.
make the presentation available, and we will make them available.
Okay, so that answers that question that all presentations will be made available. Lion Denise, to go back to some of the things that you mentioned, I noticed you spoke about some of the things that persons can do and what are some of the activities we can execute as Lions in terms of raising funds. There, of course, are basically no barriers. I think once you adhere to the COVID-19 protocols in whatever country you are, there are no limitations on whatever the activity is. In fact, I could remember earlier this year, I was engaged in a virtual fundraising activity that it was, you know, we had a dance, a live dance on radio. We actually used social media and we had live video. And so there's nothing that's stopping whatever type of activity you basically want to do. And virtual fundraising affords us as Lions and Leos an opportunity to really think outside of the box and to execute initiatives and activities that takes us away from what we are accustomed to. And because the times we are living in are basically new times, I think our audience would be quite receptive to some of these activities. What's your thought process on this?
I agree with you totally. The sky's the limit. What I want persons to understand, although we're moving into a virtual space, it's really no different from what you're doing with your physical events, your face-to-face events. It's just moving it from face-to-face to virtual. So any activity you can think of, any activity you've done before, you can move it online. So the only difference, instead of having a venue, a physical venue, your venue is now whether it's Zoom or social media. Instead of decorating and paying for catering, you're now spending that time looking at that virtual experience, your invitations, what the platform would look like. So the sky's the limit. You saw the data in terms of, I think for where we are, I thought I saw 4 billion. So imagine if you have that reach and you're able to execute an event and say each person will donate $1. You know what that will do for your donation pool. So the sky's the limit.
Well, thank you so much. We've got a question from Carl Bonkampa. Very interested in online gaming. What type of cost is one talking about to set such activities, and what reach or range do they have?
All right. The only cost that you would have, let me not say the only cost. If you have the skill set internally, you can create your own material. So that comes at no cost more than the time of your lion who's going to do that for you. In terms of the platform, if you're using Zoom, if you do not have Zoom, you'd have to get Zoom and move from a free package to a package that can accommodate the expected participants. So your price point will move right there. So that's the cost for Zoom. So it varies, depends on the package that you want to do, which is not significant in comparison to having a live event. The other cost that you will look at is the cost for the cards. So you'd have to do based on the expected participants, you will have to purchase the cards. So when you look at a comparison, I'm not able to say the exact cost because I'm not certain what the platform is, the number of person you would have. You will get gifts. So you ensure that you have persons donated. You just ask. So you don't have to be purchasing that. So the only price or cost associated with the Zoom platform, the purchasing of the cards, and then you just execute. You can find a big bingo master that knows bingo. And if you're doing the bingo, if you're using a bingo master, you may have to do a charge. When I had done it, I had a very good friend who, because he understands the movement, it was actually free. So if you normally pay probably about 300,000 to execute a bingo event live, you're not even coming close to paying a third of that if you go online. The reach is up to you. It's how you promote it. You can have the event here in Jamaica, Barbados, and anybody in the world can join your event. So it is up to you and the capacity that you can handle.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I hope that answers your question, Carl. Just to let you know that you can raise your hands and we will unmute you accordingly to give you an opportunity to ask your questions. We've got another question from Andy Charles. What are the ways to mitigate against risk in monetizing, for example, your Facebook or your website to regularly raise funds online?
That's for me?
I'm not too sure if you want to take this one or if you want to have Lion Chev answer this one.
All right, so before Shade had mentioned that you need anything that you're doing, you need to make sure that the platform you're using is secured. It's always important. She also mentioned in her presentation that you need to seek legal advice in anything that you're doing. So once you're going to do any kind of promotions, dependent on where you are, you need to speak with your regulators, as she had mentioned in the presentation. You're collecting funds. I had mentioned in my presentation that once you go virtual, trust is one of the hardest things to do. So you have to ensure that you establish that you are a legal entity, that you communicate that well in terms of how you exchange information. Is important that you protect your donors, that their information is not shared. And if you're utilizing any financial or payment facility platform, you have to ensure that they are properly regulated, they have security measures put in place, that persons can't tap into the donors or participants' information. So you want to ensure that you look at all those terms and conditions and privacy policies. So you have to engage with your legal personnel or get legal advice. And once you're choosing any platform, anybody you're going to partner with, you need to ensure that it's a legal entity. It's an entity that is reputable, that is in line, that's aligned to your own reputation, because you have to protect your organization, because there comes a reputational risk. And you also have to protect your donors, because if you don't, then persons will not believe in your cause, don't think it's safe, and will not donate anymore. And one important thing with that, too, you have to pay attention. Just as how it's easy to get online, it's so easy for persons to just blast bad comments about what you're doing. So make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's before you go through. And that is why at Lions School of St. Andrew, we tested certain things before we're going to take on the world. We want to make sure that we are following the right protocols and we have the right security in place.
Okay, thank you very much, Line Denise. What we want to do at this time, do we have anyone who wishes to ask a question from the floor? If not, in the interest of time, I am going to ask both panelists who are remaining with us, that's Line Denise and Lion Chev, to give us some final comments. Lion Shadow Stewart actually had to leave for a prior engagement. So we just want to give you an opportunity to make your closing remarks before we conclude this first presentation this evening. I want to start with you, Lion Chev.
Thank you very much, Lion Dion. And again, I must say it was indeed a pleasure to present this evening on this topic that's well needed. And so all I can say to my fellow Lions and Leos out there, Shade said, be unique. So if it is that you're not seeing, you're thinking of something like Lion Denise does with, do it in your club, right? Test it in your club before you think about taking it on a wider reach. But again, be unique, be you, we're all unique, and it's not limited to what it is that was presented this evening. So again, and I look forward to scene activities that I myself will be able to join in. Thank you. Line Dion, you're muted.
Thank you very much, Line Chev. It's now over to you, Line Dennis.
Oh, to add to what he has said, I can't say it any clearer or any better. You just have to, as he said, be you, be unique. But one important thing I'd like you to understand is it's natural, it's okay to be afraid, to not understand. And we're lions and we're strong. And as lions, we are family. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to partner with each other. You don't understand something or you see something that someone has done, reach out if you don't know so we can help each other. Then take that activity, if you so be it, and put your own personal spin on it. Anything that comes to your mind, you can do. If you could do it in the physical space, you can surely do it virtual. No idea is stupid. Meet with your club members, brainstorm. It's important to really look at what you're trying to achieve and be realistic about it. Sometimes you can put a bar to say you reach out more and you go for it. But be realistic, work with each other, work with other clubs to get activities going, and don't be afraid. Just do it. As I said, the only thing you can do is win or learn. You'll never lose. Be lions.
Well, thank you so much, Lion Dennis. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank all three panelists this evening. Shade Stewart, who had to leave us a short while ago for a prior engagement. Lion Dennis, thank you very much for your timely and well put together presentation. It was very thorough. And the same holds true for you as well, Lion Chevron Sutherland. Thank you both. I just want to end with two things that stood out in terms of, well, more than two, basically. 56% of the traffic is online. As Lions and Leos, we've got to ensure that we use that to our advantage. It is definitely a fact that online fundraising is the trend, and we must embrace it. And as you rightly said, Lion Dennis, let's focus. The F in focus stands for, what was the F for again, Lion Dennis?
Focus on where you want to be.
Right.
And focus on those fundraisers that are going to give you the most yield.
Right. And we understand the key principles and networking and devising a plan. And most importantly, sell, sell, sell. Lions, Leos, guests, thank you so much for participating and for joining us online as part of this first presentation this evening on virtual funding as part of our multiple district 60 conference. Stay with us. We've got presentation number 2 in just a short while. Good evening, everyone. We will be back with you in just a short while.